Time now for the morning rush, and we'll start things with Kristen Curry. Kristen?
Good morning. We'll begin with the next big weather maker. Not looking at anything today. It's still a little far off the coast, so we're going to see increasing cloud cover and increasing wind today, but still enough sunshine to get us back above average with those afternoon highs. We do look to see bigger changes in that forecast, though, come later this week. Details coming up. Sarah?
This morning, Donald Trump is in Michigan just one day after a surprise rally was held last night in Albuquerque. Trump is looking to win these two states that his campaign says are up for grabs. During his rally, Trump vowed to bring in jobs, lower health care costs, and offer massive tax cut to New Mexico families. He also talked about Albuquerque's crime problem. Trump attributed the problem to the drugs pouring into New Mexico from across the border. Trump is now behind Clinton by only 5 points. Adam?
Happening now, the FBI has obtained a warrant to begin looking through newly discovered emails that could be related to the now closed investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server. The emails were found on the laptop that Clinton aide Huma Abedin allegedly shared with her estranged husband, former New York Congressman Anthony Weiner. Weiner is under investigation for allegedly sending illicit text messages to a minor.
A woman is behind bars this morning for the fourth time in a month after police say she exposed herself to kids. According to a criminal complaint, KRQE was seen near Bridge and Sunset. Witnesses told police she tried to steal a trash can and was repeatedly exposing herself to kids. Officials say she's been booked 3 times on similar charges. She's booked on a $1,000 bond this morning.
2 New Mexico inmates that launched a statewide manhunt back in March are expected to appear in state court today. The charges for Lionel Claw and Joseph Cruz stem from their escape from the back of a prison van in March. Both of the men were captured in Albuquerque just days after their escape.
New this morning, the manhunt is over for the Oklahoma murder suspect. Authorities say Michael Del Vance Jr. was killed in a shootout with a local deputy. Authorities say Vance was killed near the town of Leedy, Oklahoma. That's 130 miles northwest of Oklahoma City. A massive manhunt for Vance began 8 days ago after he allegedly killed 2 relatives and shot 2 police officers.
In a matter of weeks now, the state of New Mexico will begin issuing real ID compliant driver's licenses. Those new federally compliant IDs will be issued November 14th. For people who cannot prove legal citizen status, a separate driver ID permit will be available as long as the applicant can prove residency and agrees to a fingerprint and background check.
New at 6 this morning, a woman is alive thanks to a feature in her car and firefighters who found her nearly a week after she went missing. The 69-year-old woman had been trapped inside of an overturned SUV in California. Crews have been searching for her after she used her OnStar feature to call 911 on October 23rd. After an hour, they were able to free her when firefighters did find her. She was seriously injured, but nothing life-threatening.
A New Mexico man's waking up behind bars after police say he shot at a car with a child inside. Taos County deputies say Joseph Ferrara fired shots at his neighbor's car when they were returning home. Deputies say it took an hour to get him to come out of his home and surrender. They say that Ferrara admitted to firing shots, but they say that he didn't shoot, or he says he didn't shoot at anybody. He's facing charges of aggravated assault and negligent use of a weapon.
People in Italy waking up to more devastation following another massive earthquake, this time a 6.6 magnitude quake that hit yesterday morning. So far, there are no reported deaths. Entire villages, though, that once were popular tourist attractions are now piles of rubble. Italy still recovering from an earthquake in August that killed nearly 300 people. Chris.
Today's Metro Threat Index at a 0. Nothing to really worry about. We have sunshine with a little bit of high cloud cover and warm temperatures above average at that. The wind will be a little bit of a headache for those to the north of Albuquerque across northern New Mexico, but do expect rain chances to get in this Metro Threat Index to climb later on this week. Crystal?
Today, both the Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians will be resting up for Game 6 of the World Series tomorrow. Last night at Wrigley Field, the Cubs' backs were against the wall in the elimination game. The Indians started out with a 1-0 lead, but the Cubs came back to win 3-2. Currently, the Indians lead the series 3-2. You can watch Game 6 tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on Fox New Mexico.
All right, let's get a look at the traffic situation this morning as we near the 7 o'clock hour. Things are looking really good across the metro. Maybe a little slow down there on north and southbound I-25 near the Big I, but things are expected to pick up. We'll let you know as soon as anything comes down here on KRQE this morning.
A new study suggests a deadly complication from measles is more common than previously thought. Researchers found the neurological disorder can lay dormant in infected children and become fatal years later. Doctors say children who don't get vaccinated are putting other children, especially infants, at risk.
And this Halloween, Americans could have a sugar rush. Spending on candy is expected to hit $4 billion. That's about $30 per household, and more than the four past years. The National Confectioners Association says about 72% of folks are going to be, participating in that. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, so if you're old enough, rather, to see a scary movie, then you're too old for trick-or-treating in one Canadian town. The town is enforcing its ban on teen trick-or-treaters. The law states no kids over the age of 14 are allowed to trick-or-treat and could be fined nearly $200 if you break the law. This is a report on BBC News this morning. The rules have been in the book since 2005, but it's back in the headlines after some local parents have been complaining that older siblings are not able to trick-or-treat with younger siblings.
Wow,
Interesting.
$200?
What do you guys think? When did you guys stop trick-or-treating?
When
High
I was
school.
like,
Yeah. I think
13, 14, pretty young.
no. Wow.
You guys would have been fined.
All right, time now for the 5 facts.
Number 5, New Mexico is getting some national recognition after appearing in the World Series over the weekend. On Saturday, during Dexter Fowler's 8th inning home run, you can see a pair of Cubs fans proudly waving our state flag. They say showing off New Mexico pride on national TV was surreal.
Number 4 now. In a matter of weeks, the state of New Mexico will begin issuing Real ID compliant driver's licenses. The date to start issuing the IDs is November 14th. The IDs are for people who cannot prove legal citizenship status. For details, go to our website, krqe.com.
At number 3, a mix of sun and clouds through the day today, but temperatures climbing back into the upper 70s and breezy to windy in and around the mountain areas. We do look to see increasing clouds and increasing wind over the next few days, with rain chances on the way by Wednesday night into Thursday.
At number 2 today, the Moriarty High School assistant football coach charged with rape is scheduled to face a judge. 24-year-old Damian Hyatt is still behind bars this morning after his arrest last Wednesday. The case involves 3 female students who accuse Hyatt of buying them alcohol, pressuring them for sex, and even trying to blackmail one of them. The superintendent says Hyatt has been fired.
Number 1 now, just 8 days away until Election Day. This morning, Donald Trump will rally in Michigan after a stop in New Mexico yesterday. 2 states that Trump's advisors said their internal polls show Trump is in a, quote, dead heat with Clinton. It's his second stop in our state. Clinton's never rallied in New Mexico this presidential run. She's in Ohio this morning. Today News is focused on the FBI's warrant to start combing through newly discovered emails that are connected to their investigation into her as Secretary of State.